Good day. Here is the news at noon. First, the highlights. Lagos State government urges stakeholders to promote environmentally friendly, sustainable transportation systems. President Tinubu orders anti-corruption agencies to crack down on cyber criminals, transnational car thieves. On the foreign scene, Sri Lanka swears in left-leaning president. In sport, Nigeria defeat Tanzania in under-19 cricket World Cup qualifiers opener. Now the details. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Lagos State government has urged stakeholders to promote and support transportation systems that are environmentally friendly, socially inclusive, and economically viable. Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Oshiemi re-emphasized this at the Sustainable Transport Festival held at Amadu Bello Way, Victoria Island. Oshiemi reiterated the government's commitment to sustainable transportation as the state joins the rest of the world in commemorating World Car Free Day. He said the Car Free Day celebration aims to promote non-motorized transportation, NMT, also known as active transportation, which includes walking, cycling, skating, and other small-wheeled forms of commuting. Oshiemi describes the event as a significant milestone in the state effort to create safer, more livable communities by reducing reliance on cars, while prioritizing sustainability, public health, and overall well-being. Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, has assured stakeholders of a renewable commitment to addressing the issue of sexual violence, particularly by ensuring the prevention of the menace in the state. This assurance comes as the agency marks its 10 years of unwavering efforts in responding to the case of sexual and gender-based violence in Lagos with a symposium. Speaking at the event themed, "Are We Doing Enough?" a consideration of Lagos State response to sexual and gender-based violence in the last decade. The Executive Secretary of the agency, Titilola Vivadini, said the event was organized to reflect on the progress made so far in tackling the scourge, while countering the challenges with prompt and proactive measures for the future. The symposium, which was organized in collaboration with the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption, ROLAC, funded by the European Union and implemented by the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, was signed to review the effectiveness of the Lagos State government effort in the last decade to effectively address sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV. Vivadini noted that the issue of domestic and sexual violence are crimes perpetrated behind closed doors, which violates the fundamental rights of individuals, and effort must be geared towards breaking the culture of silence and creating a safe and supportive environment for survivors. The federal government has appealed to Nigerians to clear their canals, drainage channels, and gutters to mitigate floods. A dam update report by the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NIHSA, said the water levels at the nation's critical stations along the river Benue showed a steady increase towards flood levels. According to the statement signed by the head of media and publicity, Loretta Samuel, as of Saturday, the rise continues, but as flood preparedness level. Samuel urged the 12 flood-prone state earlier warned by NIHSA to put measures in place to contain or allow conveyance. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has directed security and law enforcement agencies, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, and the Nigerian Port Authority, NPA, to intensify efforts in cracking down on individuals in possession of and trafficking stolen vehicles. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, said Nigeria will continue to work with its international partners to ensure that cyber criminals and organized crime groups involved in transnational car theft are deprived of the benefits of their illegal activities. He acknowledged the recent handover of 53 vehicles and $180,300 by the EFCC to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on behalf of 2 Canadian citizens who were victims of cybercrimes perpetrated by Nigerian nationals. While expressing concern over the involvement of transnational organized criminal groups in exporting stolen vehicles to Nigeria, President Tinubu commended the EFCC for collaborating with partners to ensure a coordinated and professional response to the menace. The president further directed all relevant agencies, particularly the anti-corruption agencies, to protect Nigeria's economic and financial integrity from organized crime infiltration. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in New York to represent Nigeria at the 79th United Nations General Assembly. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nwokocha, made this known in a statement, saying that Shettima touched down at John F. Kennedy International Airport, New York, in the early hours of today. According to the statement, the Vice President was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, and the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani. Others were the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Inuwa, Nigerian diplomat, UN officials, and many others. Nwokocha said, as directed by President Bola Tinubu, Shettima would lead Nigeria's delegation to this year's UNGA. In foreign news, Sri Lanka's new president, Anura Dissanayake, has been sworn into office, promising clean politics as the country recovers from its worst economic crisis. The left-leaning Dissanayake has cast himself as a disruptor of the status quo, and analysts see his victory as a rejection of corruption that has long plagued the country. Saturday's election was the first since 2022, when discontent over the economy fueled mass protest and chased former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa from power. In sport now, Nigeria's women under 19 team, the junior female Yellow Greens, have kicked off the 2025 ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers with a flying start, beating Tanzania by 4 wickets in Kigali, Rwanda. Lilian Ude was the biggest performer for Nigeria, grabbing 5 wickets to power Nigeria to a confidence-boosting win in the group. Nigeria captain Lucky Petty lost the toss. And the Tanzanians elected to bat first, but that was the only win the East Africans would claim, as Nigeria ran the show in the first innings with some spectacular bowling. One of Tanzania's opening batter, Jennifer Kimaru, proved difficult in the crease for Nigeria until she was undone by Ude after making 64 runs of 60 balls. And that's it on the news at noon. But just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all of various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration constructed watch towers with alarm bells and perimeter fences in model colleges? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major story. Lagos State Government has urged stakeholders to promote and support transportation systems that are environmentally friendly, socially inclusive, and economically viable. President Bola Tinubu has directed security and law enforcement agencies, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, and the Nigerian Port Authority, NPA, to intensify effort in cracking down on individuals in possession of and trafficking stolen vehicles. We also told you that Sri Lanka's new president, Anura Dissanayake, has been sworn into office, promising clean politics as the country recovers from its worst economic crisis. Finally, in sport, Nigeria's women under-19 team, the junior female Yellow Greens, has kicked off the 2025 ICC Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers with a flying start, beating Tanzania by 4 wickets in Kigali, Rwanda. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idowalaya. I am Taiwo Baruwa. Thank you for listening. Up next is Lunchtime Waka with the MCIs and Temitope Boma Bit aside. Good afternoon.